There's no job too big or too small for Gonzalez Lawn and Landscapes. Owner Chris Gonzalez works hard to make your commercial or residential properties one of the neighbors will envy. You won't find a lower price anywhere else, and that's a guarantee. We offer mowing, landscape removal, small construction jobs, and more. Our team is licensed and insured to ensure the best work for Lawrence County and surrounding areas. Your satisfaction is our goal. We won't leave until you're happy. Call today to set up a free quote.
Make your property rock and roll with services from G&S Excavating, specializing in white sand, compost, mulch, topsoil, landscape gravel, and steel landscape edging. Turn to the pros who know how to make your project shine with years of experience. The best part is they're locally owned and operated. Choose from a vast selection of mulch and rock from their conveniently located facility at number 3 Valley Road in Lawrenceburg, just off Buffalo Road. Phone 931-279-3841 and get started today.
Hey, this is Phil Hooper. Get the look you want for your favorite school, church, or business with apparel from HD Ink Screen Printing in Leoma, Tennessee. Got a logo you need embroidered or screen printed? Let HD Ink give you the professional look that sets the bar in today's world. We do fundraisers and custom designed apparel and so much more. Call today, 931-201-2961, or come see us at our new shop located at 26 Ingram Road in Leoma. Remember, HD Ink for the look you want and the look you deserve.
A moment in real estate with my dad, Jeff Luke.
You know, I get asked a lot about what the market's going to do. How's the real estate market? I've been selling real estate for a long time, and nobody has a crystal ball. And you know what? When it's your time to buy or your time to sell, it really doesn't matter what the market's doing. It's your time, and you have to do something maybe. What makes a difference is the agents and the experience that go to work for you. We're Keller Williams Hood Company, located here in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. We can help.
Hood Company, powered by Keller Williams, the #1 name in real estate.
There's a reason owners Tyler and Cindy McDowell chose the name In Service for their towing business. They did because it's their goal to be in service for you on the day that you need them the most. In-Service Towing is now known far and wide for their response time because minutes matter when you're broken down. Or their 24/7 availability, you can call them anytime for service. Their professional team with years of experience and their fairness, plus their know-how in dealing with the unexpected. But the thing that In-Service is known best for is how they treat their customers, and that's like family. When you need them, call them 931-843-9098.
Jack Davis Insurance, located at 201 West Gain Street in Lawrenceburg, has you covered through life's obstacles. Jack Davis specializes in group insurance for businesses and institutions of all sizes. With coverage for life, accidents, cancer, critical illness, short-term disability, dental, and vision, Jack Davis can customize a plan to meet every need. Now available Medicare plans for seniors. Contact Paige Davis at 931-492-9284 today for Medicare Supplement, Medicare Advantage, and prescription drug plan insurance. Serving Lawrence and surrounding counties since 1987, call the team at Jack Davis Insurance today at 931-242-5225.
At C&B Linen, fast, friendly, and reliable service is our promise to you. Because you're not just a customer, you're family. From multi-use linen to branded floor coverings and a complete range of cleaning supplies, C&B Linen is here to make sure you have everything you need. From our high-quality products to our fast, friendly, and reliable service, you'll experience the difference with C&B Linen. Because you're not just a client, you're part of our family. You'll be winning with C&B Linen.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
All right, welcome everybody here to X Sports Live, brought to you by C&B Linen. AJ Good, joined by Taylor/Tyler Plott and Corey Leroy /Leroy / a little bit of everything, guys. A beautiful Tuesday afternoon. It is Masters weekend. We'll get into that here in a little bit. But guys, busy night all across the board. High school athletics. All 6 of our teams were in action. We'll start off on the high school baseball side of things, and I'll just put it this way: Lawrence County has found ways to win games. They've blown people out. They've won 6-3. They've had some controversy, and then last night didn't have their best game, didn't have their best performance, but still found a way to pick up a 1-0 walk-off win against Giles County last night.
Yeah, they've won multiple ways throughout the year. They've won pitching and defense. They've won just simply because we've outscored teams. And to be honest with you, I think it's impressive knowing how young our team is, that they've been able to find different ways to win games. They're playing well right now. They're really playing well. They got a lot of confidence. I think it's a great sign. I think that as they continue to move forward, they're going to continue to get better and better and better, and they're exciting to watch. From play on the field to some antics on the sidelines and to some other stuff that comes along. But listen, it's I'll be honest, as a Lawrence County High School alum and fan, and it's been a while since we've been. Last year they did well, but it's been a while since we've got a good baseball team. Yeah. And so I'm proud to see that we're off to a good start.
Yeah, I mean, every single game that I've watched, they just have that feel, and that's what I've talked about on here before. They have that feel that, hey, this is a good baseball team, that they can go pretty far, not only in the district but possibly into state play as well. But also on the opposite side, the softball. What do we call them now? The cardiac cats, and kind of have some of that on the men's side, on the guys' side too, to an extent. But I mean, baseball really good at LCHS right now. Softball looks like they're trying to come up as well. So two really good teams.
Well, it looks to me like we have a bunch of baseball players. Yeah. I've always been, and I'm sure you grew up in the same era I did. Kids now, it seems like they show up and, they're kind of, I'm a pitcher, or, I'm doing this. When I grew up, you was a baseball player, I mean, right. You may play shortstop, but, somebody may say, hey, go catch or go do this. It looks like we finally have a team of a bunch of baseball players who are tough kids, will stand in there and take pitches, even though it's turf now, we'll get in the dirt, and they'll dive after balls and they play hard, and it's not always been that way. Right. I'll be honest over there, and it's been frustrating as a fan to watch, but now it's fun to watch. Yeah, it's fun because they'll play hard.
And it's fun to watch. They, Logan Mays, their starting pitcher last night, didn't have his best stuff. I've heard a lot of people, including his own family, say he had his C stuff. He was still through 6 shutout innings and struck out 11 with the C stuff.
Because as well as I do, what is that kid? He's a grinder. Yeah. He's a grinder. He, you hear it on Major League Baseball all the time. They'll talk about a pitcher not giving in, but literally when you watch Logan pitch, he does that. Yeah. He doesn't give in. He just didn't ever surrender and just throw one right down the middle. And he's a grinder.
Yeah. He's a little bit wild, but effectively wild. I always compare him to a left-handed Jake Arrieta. You don't know where it's going, but when it's in the zone, you can't hit it.
And at the high school level, that can be very effective.
Very, very effective.
And he throws hard enough that unless you're a mature high school level kid, you're not necessarily just digging in.
And he's a lefty that's tough on lefties, even tougher on righties. I never hit lefties well as a right-handed hitter anyway, so he would be a nightmare for me to go up against. Yeah. But, he's a nightmare for everyone to go up against.
I've got a funny story about a kid who, you talk about wild but effective. This dude was wild and somewhat effective if he ever got it into the zone. Let's see, I think I was a senior at this point and he was a freshman coming up, and coach was trying to work on him, and I mean, he could throw the piss out of the ball. I mean, it was coming out of his hands. It was 92, 93. It was humming in there, but it was always either like hitting the batter, behind the batter, and the other's batter's body. It was just crazy how just wild and inconsistent this kid was. And I just remember specifically, Coach Mosey was up on the pitching mound that we had back behind the locker room, and it was like, all right, I need to figure out if you can actually feel where you're throwing the ball. Yeah. He blindfolds the dude, and my brother and one of his friends, they were walking along the fence out over here towards the field. pitching mound's over here, home plate's over here. They're over here behind the locker room, and all of a sudden this ball just goes just right over their heads, and they look over here, and I think Nathan was his name. Nathan's up on the mound over there, blindfolded. It's like one of the worst possible things you would want to do with him, but he was wild and became effective a little bit later on. But that just kind of pinged a memory there, talking about wild and effectiveness.
Hardest pitch I ever saw was from a left-hander in fall ball. It was my sophomore year of college, and we played the University of Arkansas, 6'6" lefty. And I go up there, and we see how high. I'm the first guy he faces, and I go up there, and their catcher, most of these guys don't talk all that often. He goes, literally, man, I'm not trying to be a jerk. I do not know where this pitch is going to go. And he threw me 4 fastballs, 99, 101, 102. And all of them weren't even remotely close to the zone. Thankfully, all the way, because if he would have thrown something that hard at me, I don't know how. I probably wouldn't be standing here. I'd probably be eating out of a tube somewhere. But I just remember my third base coach on 3-0. He goes, "All right, swing if it's close."
It could be close
right now. But yeah, they're going to throw the freshman Braden Morrison. He's right now, or I think earlier today in court, got his name changed to his mom's name, so it's not Braden Green anymore. It's Braden Morrison. He's going to start for the Wildcats tonight. So they go for the sweep, and I was telling them off camera. So you've got 2 one-run wins and a run rule win.
Yeah.
That could happen tonight, but Giles County scrappy. They play hard. They come ready. Probably looking for some revenge after last night being both sides in a 1-0 game. Lawrence County left 9 on base. Giles County left 8 on base. So they got. You can only blame yourselves when you leave 8 on, you leave 9 on, and you lose a game.
Watching that kid pitch, he's a crafty little left-handed kid. I haven't been to and see a game in person. You've seen most of them. I don't know how hard he throws. How hard does he throw?
High 80s.
So you're talking about a freshman kid throwing upper 80s, and interesting enough, we were just talking. His uncle, George Morrison, was in high school when I during my time. He's 2 years older than I am. But George was a pitcher. George was 6'4", big guy, threw extremely hard. But just like we were talking about, he was the guy where he may throw 9 straight balls or 10 straight balls, and then he may gut you 3 straight times. So. But I watched that kid pitch. He's tough.
He's tough.
He's really tough. Which I think, to be honest with you, talking about the Wildcats, is going to be big for them postseason. Those 2 kids.
2 hard throwing lefties.
Yes.
And
we have other guys. I was going to say, and we have other guys, but those 2 in particular are going to pose problems for teams when they get into postseason.
And and I'm thinking, I've been thinking a lot about that, like you talked about. Okay, well, you can have Logan Mays that gives you 6 good innings. Braden Green threw 7 innings well against Tullahoma last week. Then then you got to think about that, maybe that 3rd and 4th game in the tournament. Well, Jack Story can give you 5-6 good innings, and then Logan Clayton, and then Case Chapman
and Bracey, the Bracey kid.
Jack Emerson can come in.
You've got some good depth to be able to call.
Well, and not only that, you got the 2 kids that are lefties at the top of the rotation, but the other kids, it's not like you drop way off.
No,
they're good. It's not, well, hey, we're a high school baseball team. We've got 2 lefties that throws, upper 80s and 90, and then we drop down to some kids that throw at 70. No, we still have kids that
still got velocity.
That's exactly right. Yep. So, I don't want to put a lot of expectation on them because they're a young team still, but I like the direction
feels
they're
pretty
going.
good.
It does feel good, especially
really
as a
good.
fan. So.
Well, thinking of feeling good, Loretto, not a dramatic game last night. Taylor go out, win 10-0 in 5, going for the sweep tonight. And offensively, Mason Tidwell hasn't been back that long, and he is just barreling up everything he sees.
He's barreling up everything he sees, and it's either a gapper double into one of the gaps somewhere in left field or right field, or it's over the wall by like several feet. The 2 home runs that he's hit over the past, I think, is it 2 games? I think it was 2 games, they've been launched.
Yeah.
They've been out of the park. As soon as you see it hit off the bat and hear it, you know that thing's gone. And I mean, he couldn't be hotter right now. That's exactly what this Loretto Mustang team needs. Last night, Case and Springer on the mound had a perfect game into the 5th inning. They were up 10-0, so Community only needed 1 run to keep it going. Lost a perfect game on the initial walk, and then he still got the no-hitter. Community got out, or they got Community out of the inning after having a runner on first and second, and ended at 10-0. But Case and Springer looked fantastic on the mound. His stuff was lively. The movement was incredible. He had, I believe it has a 2-seam in his repertoire, and it was on. He would always have it started on the outside corner, and it would dart off the plate by like an inch or two, and it was a perfect pitch every single time. So Mustangs are looking good. Offense is clicking, and you're right, going for the sweep tonight. I know Michael's heading up there right now. He's back, so he'll have the call on the game this evening, and they're looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, and speaking of looking better, Summertown back, they've played 18-10 games. They've lost 20-4. They've scored double digits. They offensively things get going, but guys, they break out a 1-0 win last night. Jackson Bennett pitches really good. They get some good defense all across the board, and for a team that struggled pitching wise at times and struggled defensively at times, they come away with a 1-0 win last night.
Yeah, Brent's a really good coach. Brent Blackwood.
Yeah.
He's a really good baseball coach, and one of the things that I think when I watch Summertown play is they play an old school type of baseball game. What I mean by that is it starts defensively. Every team that I can think of in the past several years with Summertown is really good defensively. At times, this team, the home runs that Kaysen hit the other night, they won. I know he crushed it, but there's been times they've had kids with power, but they do it a different way. It's more let's put the ball in play.
Yeah.
They still bunt regularly. So they're a team that can beat you multiple ways, small ball wise. I worry a little bit about the fact that they have pitching. How deep can their pitching get?
Right.
And to be honest with you, every high school baseball team, there's going to be nights where they can't hit it if you throw it up or underhanded. Good night. Y'all call these games. High school baseball last week was a perfect example. I watched both the Summertown and Loretto games, and I know y'all talked about it, but did they not go the opposite way? Number one, you thought they would go.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense at times. But no, Summertown is going to always. They're never going to beat themselves. They can beat you multiple ways. Like I said, Brent's a great coach. They got a lot of great athletes. I'll be honest with you guys. I've lived in this county my whole life. The last few years, the depth of athletes in this county has really grown.
Yeah.
Typically you can say, hey, this kid's a great athlete, or this kid in multi-sport, do a lot of things. Holy cow, is there a lot of really good athletes in this town, or in this county. Going back to Mason, I was going to ask you went to Summertown, but I was going to ask about Mason throwing. I watched him throw against Summertown, and they put the ball in play and scored runs off of him and whatnot. I know he's coming back from arm, but how many athletes have you seen at the high school level like Mason Tidwell?
3-sport star.
Right.
Yeah, I know we injury-wise is the reason why he didn't play his senior year quarterback there, but I mean his stats as a starting quarterback were really good.
Yeah.
Saw what he's done in basketball, all-state, state champion, state semifinalist, and
the point is, and what I'm getting at is that even though Orange County's good, and we've talked about that and whatnot, but Loretta's got a good team, Summertown's got a good team. The level of baseball in our county is really good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really good. So, but Summertown has got. They are what they are every year. It seems like, they'll have a year where they're really good, but I wouldn't. They're just never down.
No,
they're never down.
They're going to be tough. They're not going to be an easy out by any shape of the imagination. Now over to softball, Corey. Lady Cats, no cardiac cats last night.
No.
7 runs in the first inning, kind of cruise from there, and they're just,
Loretta's down.
They're down.
They're down,
and they're struggling. They're trying hard, and they're struggling. They're not giving up.
That's right.
Lady Cats has jumped on them. All the big bats came out to play in a big way.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Well, softball is dominated by pitching.
Mm-hmm.
You've done enough of those games. You have to. Yeah. Softball is dominated by pitching. If you have upper level pitching, you can dominate in softball. Now, softball too is a very volatile sport. Mm-hmm. Just simply because they pitchers pitch every day typically, and again, the motion doesn't hurt their arm. We know that. It does. It wears them down. But softball is such a unique sport, and locally, Summertown's has probably had the tradition. They've won state tournaments and whatnot. Orange County High School the last 10 or 12 years has really, come on. Loretta has really come on. Same thing. The depth of athletes on the girls' side is really deep. It's really good. But the Lady Cats are they're interesting to watch.
Yeah,
they are. They're interesting to watch because y'all just call them the cart.
Yep.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
They are a very solid team. They have nothing that they don't have. They're not loaded with power. Their pitching is solid. Their defense is solid. It's just one of those things where they're not ever really going to beat a team that they're not supposed to beat.
Yep.
And then at the same time, they're not just going to run over everybody.
Right.
Yep.
So they're that kind of team.
Yeah.
But they are fun to watch. It's exciting. I know that.
And Summertown, they played Nolensville last Friday, and then they go to Blackman. So they're trying to play all these 4A teams. But hey, last night they're down. They get have I think it was second or third inning, 3 straight hits, hang on late to win the game. That's a pretty good win. When you're thinking you're a 2A team and you're playing a big 4A team like that.
Yeah. Did you watch the game?
I didn't watch that.
So Blackman has traditionally, I think they've been down the last few years, but for a stretch there, Blackman was a very good softball school.
Right.
Wes and Barry and them that's coaching the team up Summertown, listen, they got some good players. They got some good young players. They got Greenlee Taylor catches. She's a senior, and she's got a lot of power. They've got a good, solid team. Right. They really do. Yeah. And this is more going back during Greg Burleson's time, but when you play Summertown, one thing you can count on is they can typically hit.
Right. Yep. Absolutely.
They're going to hit. So, and this team, to be honest, isn't much different. I don't know that they're as good a hitting team as some in the past, but they're still a good hitting team. Yeah. But, yeah, Summertown is going to do well this year. So.
Yeah, we've said it a lot on this show, Corey. They don't rebound. They reload.
Yeah.
Every stinking year they reload.
Well, it goes back to when you have a small community like Summertown who continually has good teams in all sports, basketball, baseball, softball, volleyball, tennis, it goes back to the community loves sports.
Absolutely.
And at an early age, they're getting their kids involved.
Yep.
They're, maybe whether it be travel ball, league ball, all the things that they do, they're investing in it. Mm-hmm. For a small community like Summertown to be year in and year out, like you said, they just reload every year. Somebody new is coming in. And it just means they just place, it's important to them.
Yep.
So absolutely. So speaking of things that are important, have you guys seen the mess that's going on with the UT women's basketball team right now?
The article I read this morning, they were down to one?
Down to one, and one incoming freshman. Now, I've also read that they've got a lot of transfers on campus, potential transfers on campus, a lot of freshmen on campus right now. So it's, everyone just couldn't wait for the season to be over, and everyone kept saying, okay, she just needs to clean house. She needs to get rid of who she needs to get rid of. Well, that's happening, and now people aren't happy that
they're
that's
panicking.
happening.
Yeah.
Everybody's panicking because of it.
Yeah.
Well, I think from the university's perspective, listen, I'm a Tennessee alumni, and that's my school. So you would think they asked the question, is this the right person? Because you knew it would. I mean, how did you not? I mean, in today's time where you can, the door's wide open, come and go as you please.
Yep.
Who didn't know that there was a mass exodus?
Right.
The question had to be that you know, the AD and the people making the decision come down. Is she the right person?
Right.
So obviously they made the choice that yes, we're going to stick with Kim. She's the right person. And then, listen, again, everybody's just panicking because it happened. That's what needed to happen.
Exactly.
That's what needed to happen.
And you know, everyone's causing for her to be fired. You know, she got rid of the assistants who were leaking a lot of these things and that were doing some things behind her back.
Yep.
She cleaned house, which is basically what everyone was asking for.
That's
which is,
exactly right.
You need to get rid of them. They quit on you. She's doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's just
the panic is completely set in because it's like, well, you need at least 5 on the court, and all you got right now is 1. But again, it's early April.
That's
It's-
right.
it's-
Things can change.
It's early April, and the thing is, yes, you are expecting you need to be cleaning house. You can say, hey, this is not working. You need to clean house. And like you said, if Tennessee, the AD, they have done their due diligence and have said that, okay, she is the right fit for the job. We are behind her. We have her back. This is her team. But like what you said, okay, well, you knew that all this stuff had to happen. But at the same time, you get your phone, there's an ESPN alert or whatever not, and all of a sudden it's just like, holy crap, it's actually happening. And so then you start kind of have that little freaking out and everything's like, calm down, take a step back. You wanted this to happen.
Yeah.
You really did. Is it a shock to your system right now? You're seeing it happen? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But guess what? If you knew you needed to have happen, if you needed that to happen, okay.
Well, what
There you
comes
go.
along with that is that, yes, everybody's on board. Let's scrap this and start over. The problem is that nobody has the patience for that.
Exactly.
Now, in today's world,
Yeah.
it doesn't take as long because, again, we're talking about a whole new team,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Now,
Only one player coming.
yeah, you're talking about a whole new team. So, and you can turn your team over. So you could literally go from being the worst team in the league to the best team in the league if you
just like that.
if
in
you
a
want to spend the
heartbeat.
amount of money.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're not living where 20 years ago where it's hire a coach, let's give him 3 or 4 years,
Yep.
let him get his players in here, put his system in. You know, my argument is, and listen, I don't care who they have over there, I'm going to support Tennessee. My argument is I don't like her style of play. You know,
Yeah. Right.
it's just not for me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like her style of play. If she gets the right team, she may be the most successful coach in the.
Yeah.
You know, we may do great. I'm not crazy about it, but she's the coach.
Yeah.
not
Yep.
me.
Right.
You know, so. But yeah, it is. It's unique. But I also think that, to be honest with you, this happens a lot.
Yeah.
It's just really happening to us, and we're
it's
paying
just-
attention
and,
to
and
it.
when you're at a historic program like Tennessee,
Sure.
and you have the history, and this is your 3rd coach post Pat.
Yep.
And the other 2 didn't find a whole lot of success, and you're going like the complete opposite of the former Pat player,
Sure.
the former Pat assistant, and some. It's only year 2, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, this isn't working," and it's like, well, you know, guys,
Yeah.
you know, she's done. She's
Well-
an honest coach. She's done what she's needed to
And
do.
you know you know this better than I do, AJ. Pat Summit coached in a different era.
100%.
I'm going to be honest with you,
Yeah.
and maybe I'm wrong. Could Pat Summit coach today?
Probably not. A little too hard. A
Yeah,
little
that-
too hard nosed.
Right, because the reason I say that she coached with the money and the freedom. I just don't know that kids today could take Pat Summit getting on one knee, 6 inches from their face, and absolutely tearing them a new one while spitting all over them. You know,
Or
I just
some-
don't know that they can.
Some of the stories I've heard Candace Parker say where they played so bad, so bad the night before and won, like she kicked them out of the gym, made them like dress in a different locker room, made them go to like a YMCA to work out and get a practice in, wouldn't even let them wear their practice uniforms. They were so bad.
When I was up there, this is the honest truth. We had a snowstorm, and in college, it's got to snow a lot. Like we didn't go a whole week. It was shut down a week.
Yeah.
Well, they had played a game on Saturday. The whole week we were out. They had gotten killed, played terrible. And it snowed like 12, 14 inches. It was big snow. 2 mornings that week, dude, she had them running around campus in the snow, 6 o'clock in the morning. And I'm talking about, and she was out there too.
Yeah,
I mean, she was on a golf cart, because they had kind of made where she'd get around. Oh, it was kind of a joke, or around campus, but she was tough.
I've had that coach that follows you running, and they're in a golf cart eating donuts while you're running up and down the road. Yeah. I've been there before. But let's transition, guys, to the Masters. It's your favorite week.
It's the best week of the year.
Already change your ringtone. Change it on Monday.
I do. I've had that ringtone for probably. Well, whenever that became popular to have different ringtones and whatnot, I got the Masters one, and every Monday of the week I change it to it. So I love it. It's my favorite week of the year.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's the best test, I think, of golf for, because you know what you're getting into, but you really don't know what you're getting into, because it's not like a course you can fly out the week before you get to play a bunch of practice rounds. It's like, okay, you get like 1 or 2 practice rounds that week, and then you're playing. And it's a course that's very unique in some of the ways. Like, there's some holes you can definitely score on. There's some holes you're just lucky to get par on. I mean, the scores do improve from year to year, but like, who can win it? It's unpredictable. I mean, the favorite rarely wins it.
See, yes and no. The golf course itself there's a reason why I think Fuzzy Zeller won in 779, his very first appearance. But that hasn't happened, but maybe one other time. I think maybe just the one time.
Tiger didn't win in his first.
No. His first appearance, it was an amateur.
That's right.
So, but the golf course you've got to have a lot of knowledge about it, which is one of the unique things about it. Because obviously it's played the same place every year. It's the only major that is at one place. It's just the tradition and the history of it, what it means. Seriously, there's some people who would say the U.S. Open's their favorite tournament or whatnot, but at the end of the day, everybody that's there this week is going to say, this is the one golf tournament I want to win. This is the one I grew up, when I was practicing or on the putting green. This was the putt I was hitting to win the Masters, So the tournament itself is it's unique. It has a small field. They let there's usually around 10 or 12 amateurs that different routes to qualify.
And you have to win a tournament to get into
it,
a PGA tournament.
You can qualify via past champions, world ranking,
and winning a PGA or a certain PGA.
If you win a regular event where it's not there's some weeks that there's 2 PGA Tour events, it's got to be it can't be an off week event. So that'll get you exempt. If you finish in the top 12 or 13 the year before, you get exempt. There's a lot of ways to get exempt. And even, the great tradition of allowing amateurs to play. The U.S. Amateur winner to play, the U.S. Mid-Am winner to play. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 I know of. There may be more. Brant Snedeker, when he was a amateur, Nashville played in as an amateur. Tim Jackson, who is, if you're a Tennessee, if you live in Tennessee and play golf your whole life, you know who Tim Jackson is. He's probably the greatest amateur that's from Tennessee. He's won 2 U.S. Mid-Ams. He's played in the Masters twice. Danny Green from Jackson, Tennessee. He's played in the Masters once. Stephen Fox, who's from Chattanooga, won the U.S. Am. We have a kid from Dixon this year playing in the Masters. So it's just, listen, for a golfer, it's the best week.
Absolutely.
And to have it with March Madness, that's what I enjoy. You're going from the excitement of March Madness, get all the basketball you want, and then as soon as that national championship happens, generally it's Masters week. That's right there.
It's because it's like opening day of baseball, then it goes into the Final Four, then you have the Masters, and then shortly after Masters, the NHL and the NBA playoffs start because we're into the final weeks of the regular season for both of those sports.
For me, this is like baseball. Opening day of baseball is like, thank goodness, spring is finally here. But then we're here and it's Masters week. To me, this is like winter's over. You know, you get that sense of it's so green and it's so perfect down there, and you get that sense of it's just, summer's coming, and it's just, I don't know. There's a lot that, to me, it excites me.
You guys ever been?
I have been. I've been 3 times, practice rounds.
Yeah. I've only heard people only getting in the, hey, I'm about to sneeze. Only getting in.
Look at the light.
Well, we did our the allergies that Taylor covered earlier on the.
You need to watch the noon show. You get some good information about that.
That's exactly right.
But I've only heard of people getting in the practice rounds instead of like actual. They get in that lottery. And
up until I was telling Taylor this yesterday. In 1994, up until 1994, you could walk up and pay $20 to get in.
Right.
The first time I went was in 1994 when you walked up and paid your $20 and you could get in. And that year, they estimated over 200,000 people showed up for a Wednesday practice round, and in 95 is when the lottery started. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just, again, for a golfer, especially for somebody if you grew up playing golf. The first Masters I remember was in 1987. I was 10 years old. Mm-hmm. My parents grew up playing, I grew up playing golf because they played golf. Mm-hmm. And I remember it, I can see it I close my eyes and I can still see it. It was that Sunday afternoon, my dad and his crew of buddies, they had all played golf that morning, and then we came to our house. Out on the back patio, we'd moved the TV outside, and back then, it's 87, so you're running cable and, big old TVs. But I remember they cooked, hamburgers and hot dogs, and a bunch of guys, and my mom and her group of golfing ladies were there. And I was inside with, a couple of my friends and one of my lifelong best friends, Josh Brazier. We grew up playing golf together and stuff. We were inside watching. Yeah. And I was sitting on the couch when Larry Mize chipped in to beat Greg Norman in '87, and seriously, I can almost go back and tell you who won each year. That's just for most people that it kind of for somebody like me, that's what it means. But it's awesome, being there. Have you been there?
I have. I haven't been there for golf. When I was working in Macon, Georgia, I was trying to repair our relationship with Augusta National. Succeeded, and then 2 weeks later, they eliminated the sports department at the station I was working at. So I drove the 2.5 hours because there's no easy way to get to unless you're going to Atlanta. There's no easy way to get anywhere in Georgia unless, I-70, if it's off of I-75 or I-16, you're good. Yep. Anywhere else, like to go to Athens from Macon was like a 2-hour drive, even though it was only about 65 miles. Augusta was the same way, 2.5 hour drive, because the people that were in charge of the sports department before I got there went and didn't do anything. Like they basically got a free ticket into Augusta, which they find that out really quickly over there. Like very, very quickly. They watch everything that you do. So I did my best, and I talked to the media relations guy, very nice guy, that they've changed a couple since then. And I drove all the way there, and I got to eat in the clubhouse. I remember it, chicken salad sandwich with homemade potato chips. It was incredible. And we shook hands and signed some things and some paperwork, and I got her relationship repaired. I'm like, okay, everything with WGXA and Augusta National is great. We'll be here next year. And then 2 weeks later, my position's eliminated.
Terrible.
So
terrible.
I did all of that work, and which would have been fun to go back, but actually like driving up to it, and I'm like, and I go to the front, that there's a security guard. Who are you with? I'm AJ Good, WGXA TV. Welcome in, AJ. He goes, I think he said, welcome in, friend. And I'm like, wow. They're not going to arrest me at the gate? This is awesome. So,
well, to me, that's the lore of it. That is, it's the tradition of knowing that Bobby Jones started it.
Yeah.
And guys today, as they play the golf course, they can be in a spot where Gene Saracen made a double eagle on 15. It's that tradition that, because it's played in the same place, and you see the same shots over and over. You see the same putts over and over. You see guys, Choke their guts out on number
Just
12.
say Greg Norman.
Yeah.
Just say Greg
Well,
Norman.
I mean, listen. Hey, when I was a kid, I was a Greg Norman fan. I really
I was
was.
too.
You know, everybody kind of thought he was cool.
Yep.
He was, and whatnot. But, and I'll be honest with you. Listen, I still feel for him because
I do
he
too.
listen, as a competitor, unless you have been in that arena at that time with that amount of pressure, you don't know whether you could hit that shot, or whether you could make that free throw, or none of that.
Larry Mize, crazy chip in the beat.
Right.
Jack makes an incredible comeback in '87, which I always think of number 16 and think of Jack because he hits that tee shot on the final round, and his son's his caddy and goes, "Be right."
He says
it is.
Yeah,
he's literally he's not even looking. He's
No,
going to
he's
pick
picking
up
up
his
his
tee.
tee.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And like people still take the same lines because the hole's in the same spot on Sunday, every Sunday at the Masters, and all the best players take the same line that Jack did and put the ball in almost
That's
the
exactly
same spot.
right.
It's
and just like even going on 16, Tiger chipping that ball in the year he beat Chris DeMarco in a playoff. That's what makes it. Because it's the same place, the same year. You can remember. You remember things that's happened on each hole, and so to me it ties the game from 2026 back to 86 and all those things. And speaking of Tiger, it's kind of I think it's kind of interesting that their grand opening of his short course design at Augusta, the patch, starts this week, and the poor fella ain't going to be there.
Nope.
Not going to make it.
Nope.
that's his own fault though.
Yeah.
It's his own fault and his own doing.
I've often wondered over the years why, of all the sponsors he's had, why he's never had like one of the major insurance companies as a sponsor. I guess we know now why. Can't afford him.
Can't
afford his premium.
This rollover wreck is brought to you by Nationwide Insurance. We got you covered.
That's exactly right.
We are farmers.
We are farmers.
Rolls out of the car. We are farmers. Dun, 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 dun.
I was watching last night on the Golf Channel, like this week especially, but the weeks of the majors, they always do every night. They have this type, where it's they're each night. I watch it every night, and they did a little segment on Tiger last night, and in this segment they were asking players. They were doing, well, what do you think about Tiger? Oh, we love Tiger and this and that, and I was thinking, first off, if I was asked that question, I'd say, I'm not going to tell you what. I mean, that's his personal life. Right. It's his personal business. Now, today we're sitting on this desk and it's our show and it's our job to talk about it. So, how dumb can you be? I'm being serious.
It's his third.
I'm genuinely being serious.
Yeah.
I don't care if you've ever seen a golf ball. You know the name Tiger Woods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can't be that dumb.
No.
You got to be smarter than that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care who it is. If he travels with security, I'm sure he has security, which obviously he probably doesn't travel with him because I don't know if there was anybody else in the car or not. Yeah. But how do you take that chance? Seriously,
That's a great question.
I've made a joke this week. I've only been joking, but seriously, think about the guy that he ran into and he wrecked. He gets out of his truck. Yeah. And he goes over and he sees a Range Rover. Ooh, a Range Rover hit me. And then all of a sudden he sees a guy climbing out of the passenger side window and jumping off. And you say, it's Tiger Woods. Yeah. I mean, I've made it, again, totally, I've been joking, but my joke's been, I'd have been grabbing my neck, my knee. I'd have been dragging dragging a foot.
Yep.
I just don't get, I'll be honest, I don't get it, AJ.
I don't get it. And he's not the only athlete that's dealing with these issues.
Sure.
And every time I'm like, you've got everything. You've got the money. It's not like you've blown your money. I mean, everybody who gets money blows it on something stupid, but not not everything he spends his money on something stupid. He's got money coming out of his ears, out of all of his orifices. He can hire someone to take him to do.
That's right.
And then, someone's like, well, he's a private guy. He doesn't want certain things. I'm like, he can sit in the back of a Range Rover and not say a word to anyone.
That's it.
And you mean to tell that every day.
You mean to tell me, all right, let's just say it. Like Tiger was a billionaire. Mm-hmm. All right. He's a billionaire.
Yep.
He travels everywhere he goes privately.
Yep.
He can afford full-fledged private security for him, his kids, anything, all he wants.
Yeah.
Now, again, I grew up playing in the era of Tiger Woods. I was in college the same time Tiger Woods was. I played junior golf the same time Tiger Woods was. I didn't look at him as an idol. I look at him as when I was growing up and trying to actually achieve that level, which I could not do because I wasn't good enough. I'll just say it. I wasn't good enough. But my point is this, is that I don't care how private you are. I don't care what you got going on in your life. You know what you're doing is not right.
Right.
And I'm not even addressing the addiction part of it. Because I'll be honest with you. If you told me he could get through a day without taking pain medication, I'd say that's a miracle.
Right.
The guy's had close to 30 surgeries,
Right.
all the back surgeries, knees, what he did to his leg when he tore it up in a real wreck. Hey, he is probably a legitimate person who has to have pain medication to get through a day.
Yep.
And especially still try to play a professional sport.
Right. Yeah.
Throw that aside, because I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about the simple fact that you have to be smarter about getting out on the road and putting not only yourself but other people in danger when you don't have to do that.
Right. Yeah.
You can simply take precautions.
And you can save yourself and save everybody else, and so much going on.
Yeah, because again, his power and influence in the game as a role model is somebody who can listen. If Tiger Woods' name is attached to it, it's going to be successful.
Yeah, absolutely.
So why take the chance of damaging all that? You know, that to me doesn't make any sense. Again, if he has an issue, sure, I hope he gets it taken care of, because that's not the part I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
I'm just talking about you got to be smarter than that.
Yeah. Well, guys, finally, before we wrap up the show, any favorites? Anyone kind of sticking out to you two? You guys are the golf experts here. I just kind of. I could tell you right now the favorites in Major League Baseball, but as far as golf, this is all that when you kind of talked about it, this is when I start tuning in the golf is right around the Masters. So any kind of players really sticking out to you two right now?
I mean, you can never go wrong with Scotty Scheffler. You know that he's probably going to be up there on the leaderboard.
And he hadn't played. Listen, he's won this year, but he's been a little bit off.
He has.
In the way he has played. But at the same time, too, just like in baseball, we don't always hear it. Yeah. 10 days ago, Scotty Scheffler and his wife had their second child.
Yep.
We don't know this, but Scotty hadn't been playing up to Scotty level. I mean, good night. He's making every cut. He's finishing in the top 15. It's just not Scotty level.
Yeah.
And everybody says, whatnot. Listen, these people are normal people too. They have problems. His wife's pregnant. Maybe they had to. She needed a little extra attention. They also have another kid. So, kids, honestly, seriously, something like that. I was a little worried, but I heard this morning. I didn't know that they had their baby. When I heard they had their baby 10 days ago, I thought he may win.
Yeah.
Even though
he's got some pressure.
Even though he's the favorite,
yeah,
something like that happened. You've got kids. When you have an event like that, it just fills you with something that gives you a freedom.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say it makes you feel a little bit freer. It's I've got this. This is just a game compared to that little thing that's
exactly
now
right.
house,
so then, therefore, what happens? You're loose. You're loose and ready to go.
Yeah.
So I think he's more of a favorite now.
Yeah.
Than before. Yeah. There's a couple of guys I think that are going to. It's interesting this year. I don't like him. He's an American. I'm not a fan of him. I don't know him, so I can say that. But Patrick Reed, if you want to know the truth.
I said it yesterday.
All right, so
Patrick Reed, a little bit of family issues. That's okay. I know what he feels, but that's my favorite.
He supposedly over the years has had trouble counting. I mean, hey. I don't know. I don't know why that is. Maybe he misses numbers or anything. But my point is, he's been playing good. He's one of the. To me, I think he's good for golf because he's that controversial.
You need a villain.
He's that.
You gotta have a
villain.
I
agree with you. I love it. You gotta have that.
Gotta have the heel.
You do. Yeah. Listen, for a long time, like in Ryder Cup type play, which Ryder Cup's the greatest thing ever. But like Colin Montgomery was the villain type guy, or Nick Faldo, or Sergio has been a villain.
It's the only time Sergio played.
That's exactly right. So he fills that role, but he's actually playing good. I think he's probably going to do well this week. I think Justin Rose is going to play well this week.
I was thinking that too.
You know,
he seems like he's had like a resurgence in his
and
career.
he's so good in majors. He doesn't
is.
win them, but
He
he's
is.
so good in majors.
He's always going to be in like that top 10, top 15.
Yeah. He's a guy that's remained healthy over the years, and he's had a few ups and downs. But to be honest with you, since he's been in his 40s, Justin's like 45 or 6. But he's one of those guys where I think what happens to some of them, they get to the point of their career where, number one, obviously money's not an issue. Family's good. Maybe their kids are grown or everything. And that one or two things happen. It's like hands off the wheel, or they really go back to it. They're like, I want to do this. I want to get some more out of this. And I think that's where Justin Rose is.
He wants some more out of this.
Bryson is an interesting character this week. You know, he's done well the last couple Masters. You know, because then you get the little crossover, and you get some of those lip guys. John Rahm coming in. He's obviously a favorite. I'm a Dustin Johnson fan. I have been ever since he kind of came on board. He's been playing terrible, you know, but. You got a handful of guys, Rory. And it'll be interesting to see what Rory does this week.
I love this quote. Why no Irish food? Well, I want to enjoy it.
That's exactly right. That's a good. That's good. But it's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Always.
It's almost like the start to the season. It's the first major, and like
Mm-hmm.
everyone's up in the air. I mean, you just never know until this teeing off on Thursday.
And it's an interesting time in golf. I know we want to move on, and I keep bringing it up, but it's an interesting time in golf. You got guys kind of defecting back from Live with Brooks Koepka, and Patrick Reed is doing it.
Grass wasn't always green as they thought it was.
Exactly. Patrick Reed made some statements yesterday in the press center that were very interesting. He talked about he wanted to get back to playing traditional golf, which means tee times, not shotgun start, just traditional golf. And so I think I think golf is maybe starting to get back to
evening itself out.
I agree with that. And hopefully out of that, seriously, and I believe this, hopefully out of that, I'm a guy that says I wish Liv would go away. I do. I wish he'd go away. Out of that will come back the villain type stuff. It really will, because you're gonna bring some people back in that have said stuff about when they left that people aren't going to just say, no, I'm not just going to, we're not just going to forget that. So it'll be good.
They're like the USFL. USFL challenged the NFL legit for about a year and a half, and then. Well, I tried to change the league. They just wouldn't listen, just wouldn't at all. And then, he came in, and if you've watched and read everything about the USFL, he kind of did ruin the league. But, it's kind of one of those things. Like, they were a legit challenger. They were taking big-name guys. They were stealing draft picks. And then everything just evened out. And some of the things that they did, they brought it over to the NFL, and it made the NFL better. So,
You can learn that there are... Now, obviously, Liv's got its own backstory and everything. I'm not going to get into that. But when you look at the stuff that they were trying to do, it made sense because they're definitely it added a little bit more flair that maybe, me personally, I wouldn't have wanted in a golf tournament or watching golf. But I know that some other people would have wanted, especially those who are not traditional golfers. So maybe it's a thing where we might be looking 5 to 10 years down the road and not saying the PGA Tour is going to do shotgun starts and everything like that, but, maybe there's a little bit of a learning thing. Like, Liv's side, people would still like to do this stuff, but on the PGA side, maybe some stuff that they were looking at might not have been such a bad idea.
Well, I think the issue is, and this, to me, this would not just be golf. It would be all professional sports leagues. Liv tried to take over or try to disrupt and create a league when the PGA Tour, it wasn't struggling.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not struggling.
Exactly.
Now, if the PGA Tour, something had happened, maybe some bad decisions been made, and then they were financially in trouble, losing sponsorship, and you struggle, and then somebody sees an opportunity to say, hey, let's take advantage of this. They're not struggling.
Right.
It's like me walking up to Mike Tyson in his prime saying, let's go, big boy. You're going to get your teeth knocked out.
I know your weaknesses, Mike.
You're going to get your teeth knocked out. So my point is, just like them, on the football side, on the shoot, what are you doing?
Yeah. You, and the USFL started as a spring league, which was great. You got a lot of attention. You got all the eyes on you. And then they decided, okay, we're going to be disruptive. We're going to change everything. We're going to challenge the NFL in the fall, which was a absolute disaster.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that's the part I don't understand about it is that you're not trying to take advantage of an opportunity when we've got somebody in trouble.
Right.
You're going up against the giant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, that's it.
And you went up against the giant, and eventually you got a few
Hey,
punches in, but then
you did.
Yep.
But, and the only reason, and again, it goes back to, and I think what rubs really everybody the wrong way on the PGA Tour side of it is, you didn't really get any punches in.
Yeah.
Dude, you just had an unlimited supply of money.
Yep.
Yeah.
And all you did was just say, I don't care what the number is, just tell me and it's yours.
And you thought it was unlimited. And
Sure.
then eventually it's like, well,
There is a limit to it.
There is actually a limit.
Yeah,
to it.
but at the same time too, I mean, there's a lot of animosity toward a lot of guys. But I'm just going to tell you what, guys. Every one of us sitting here are all grown men. Yeah. You and I got kids. So you ain't got no kids. But you throw numbers like they were thrown, and expect me to say no.
I've said that a lot. I'm like, I'm with you guys.
Yeah, it's
I'm
not
with you. I
okay.
get it.
It's generational money.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
That's what
It's
it
hard
is.
to
It's
turn
not.
around.
Hey, I'm gonna set up my kids. I'm gonna set up my great grandkids.
Yep.
Right.
And
So
the people,
that's
and the people who are trying to counteract that, being like, oh well, it's Saudi money, so that's got blood on it and everything like that. Are you going to say no if they come knocking on your door and say, hey, here's a check for $30 million, and by the way, we're going to give you $10 million each year after this now for the rest of your days? Oh, you're saying yes. Yeah. You don't care where that money's
y'all
coming
know,
from.
y'all know as well as I do, and it's not just sports, but when you start using that excuse that those people were part of 9/11. Okay, if we're talking about financials, dude, it's global.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, from the professional athlete standpoint, politics, business, tech,
Yeah.
it's global.
Right.
Yep.
You can't say, well, you shouldn't do that because they're tied to this. Well, guess what? There's 50 other different organizations in the United States that's getting that money.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
You
that's
can't-
a
you
terrible.
can't-
That's an argument.
It's a terrible argument,
it's-
and I know that 9 out of 10 people who are going to be in that position where they get offered that money, at that point, all that's out the door. They're signing that thing, they're cashing it in, and they're good to go. That's not a problem anymore.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we'll be back here again Thursday. They'll actually got balls in the air. We'll probably be starting
Thursday
the afternoon tee times by
Yeah.
the time we talk about this on Thursday. So we'll get into picks, and we'll have a lot. I love to throw random odds at you guys, like who's going to have the first hole in one, who's going to have the most eagles. We'll throw all that out there to see what you guys think. So that will do it for Exports Live, brought to you by C&B Linen. So for Taylor, Corey, and myself, we'll see you guys on Thursday.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.